Yasmin, thank you. It's wine fit for a king, queen, and even a president. Local boy Mike Segue's 2007 Grenache wine for Beckman Vineyards was the featured selection at President Obama's first state dinner. And since that note of distinction, Segue has branched out on his own and started his own vineyard with Hawaiian inspiration. And joining us this morning to talk about his roots here in the islands is Mike Segue of Kaena Wines. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's great. So you grew up in Kuli'o'o, and you made it all the way to Santa Barbara wine country in California, and now you've created Kaena Wines. Why don't you talk about your inspiration?
Sure. Basically, the inspiration for me was my great-grandmother. She was half Hawaiian, Lucille Hollinger, and she gave us all the great-grandchildren. We all got given names. Mine was Kaena, and I was Kaena to her all the time. And she taught me basically, everything that I am today, I can really give back to her. So she helped raise me, taught me about values and about my heritage, and I really owe it all to her. So
yeah, and look at this right here. It's you actually created this quilt design yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
When I was trying to think of, I'm going to use my given Hawaiian name, I was like, okay, well, I have to represent Hawaii in a very classy way. And I thought of the Hawaiian quilt as a symbol of class and tradition. So I took a sorrel leaf and traced it out and cut it out, scanned it in, and that's how the label came about.
So talk about your wine. And before you created Kaena Wines, you had one of your wines with Beckman Vineyards actually make it to President Obama's first state dinner in 2009. What was that like to have your wine a part on this fabulous menu?
Well, I was just, when we got the call, I was kind of blown away. I'm like, oh my God, where did this come from? It was a huge honor because, the first state dinner ever was by Ulysses S. Grant for King David Kalakaua. And then you got the first Hawaiian president, and as far as I know, I'm the first Hawaiian-born winemaker making the wine for it. So,
and that first date dinner, that was sort of known because the Salahis, that was the one that crashed the Salahis.
Yeah, hopefully they liked the wine. Yeah. I think they crashed it because they knew it was being poured.
Yes, exactly. They knew there was something really good at that function, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's fabulous that you've had such a great career. And, what is your advice to people who know nothing about wine like myself? Because, when I go to Costco, I look at the label.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of people go, no, you got to look at the numbers and all of that. So what's your advice?
You can start with ratings, and I think that's a great way. I always, I have to send the wines in, they get scored, but kind of go with what you're eating, and you don't have to pay a lot of money to get a really good wine. I think that's the #1 thing. But Tamura's and Costco, they all have really great selections for pretty decent amount of money. I got in this business because I couldn't afford what I drank anymore, so I signed up for Beckman as a harvest
Just make
vet.
your own. All right. Well, Mike Segue from Kaena Wines, thank you so much for joining us. And cheers. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And don't forget, if you'd like to see this interview again, you can go to the morning section of our website, kitv.com. It is 6:17.